Welcome to Project Zomboid Build 42, a game about crashing your car, fighting more and more zombies, and eventually even having them on top of your car. So today I decided to try out Build 42. Now, mostly because I haven't played this game in a while and was looking forward to it, and yeah, I am quite late to Build 42, but I mean, what are you gonna do? So today, I decided I'm going to try out Build 42 and see what new things they added, and, I mean, I guess compare and see how the game holds up. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's just get into it. So starting off the bat, I already noticed there are way more game modes or more enhanced things. Basically, we have more animations for the different game modes, which I might try out in the future, but for the meantime, I'm going to stick with the main game. Of course, I have to go with the tried and true Survivor difficulty. I mean, come on. Just look at Spuffo here with his katana. Now for Build 42, some new things were added. Maldra was new and improved. And then you have Echo Creek, the new location, which is just kind of a small town. Then next, you have other things like West Point, which is mostly the same. You have Riverside. And then you also have the tried and true best spawn in the game, Rosewood. Just absolute peak. I like the new icons that it has because it really does help narrow out where you want to go through for a playthrough. But with that, we're going to start off with the newest spawn of Echo Creek. As for my stats, I wanted to try DIY Expert, but yeah, it didn't look too great, so I decided to stick to something different and try out Carpenter. Because usually I do Burglar for the hot wiring of cars, but I just wanted to make sure I did something different. So I picked a couple traits and made my character, and we would start off in Echo Creek. Now, a new thing that was added to Build 42 immediately that I noticed was this body dragging. So no more having to pick up bodies, put them in your inventory, then drop them. You could actually just drag them this time. Now, very much like Riverside, Echo Creek had these trailer parks around the area. Now, they didn't have amazing loot, but they had loot that would pretty much suffice the area. And because it's such a small town, the area is not very densely packed with zombies, so it's pretty safe to just wander around, and I can get away with things pretty easily. Another thing I noticed was the zombies. Every time you push them, it's not like Build 41 where they just fall over. They actually have a cool stumble animation, which is some great attention to detail with Build 42, and I really like it. Now, around this town, I looked around, and there was a lot of sheds and tool sheds, all that, so it's kind of a mix between suburbs, trailer park, and all that sorts. So I made sure to just run around the area, and I did find a couple new things, like a tire iron, which I guess is a new thing we can use with the car, because before this, you didn't really have more car-suited like things. It was mostly just like wrench, hammer, screwdriver. But it seems that they added more tools so we can finally have a more tailored profession and have more different things that the professions can do. Another thing I noticed is, I think it's probably just with Build 42 Unstable, so you can check it out. They added a gun that they just give you off the bat. So what it looks like is they changed it to basically just be the improved projectiles mod. So I would say pretty good change. Now, another thing I noticed, I gotta say this. These gas stations not having fuel, I don't know how to feel about that. Now, I mean, I guess it's good because, I mean, gas pumps. Next thing is basements. No longer do I need a mod. Finally, we have lots of space. So with this new area, basically it adds a lot more variety. So basically, I finally have a base that'll be protected from most zombies, but also kind of be less protected. I mean, I'm not gonna have a window to jump out of in case a zombie comes here. But good news, they also have a lot of tools because, you know, you keep things in your basement like, you know, crowbars and stuff. I found a vehicle around this area, but it wasn't very, like, good to operate, so I just kept looking around to see if I could find another key for the blue car that I found. Which, I found the zombie just in the bathroom, and to the luck of me, they had a key ring, and that key ring had a key to this car. So finally, I had a good car that I could manage, and that it would go a good distance. So with that, I geared up, got everything I could find, grabbed some snacks, threw it in the back, and it was time for a road trip out of Echo Creek. So far, this town was pretty good to me, so hopefully my adventures would be good with all the things I took with me. But just before going, I made sure to fill up with the gas, just because, you know, power can run out at any time, so I do not want to be caught lacking without fuel. So, I made my way out through the town, finally found a shed, and this is where the one big mod that I still use. I'm surprised they haven't put this in the main game. Like, why can I not just pry doors open in the main game? It makes absolutely no sense why I can't just pry a door open with a crowbar. Okay, maybe a garage door would be kind of hard to pry open, but you get my point. So, I cleared out the area, and everything was set in motion, everything was going good. I loaded up the car, and at this point, after grabbing everything from nearby mechanic shops, like cargo containers, anything I could basically find, I was on my way to get out of Echo Creek. Now, I did mess around with the foraging system, so I keep hearing that Build 42 was amazing with foraging, so if anyone has played that, let me know, but I just foraged along the road to try and get some rocks so I could craft, but didn't have too much luck with that, so I stopped doing that. Now, here, I finally found the best part of Build 42 so far. The ragdolls are amazing. Hands down, just if I can hit a zombie with my car and he can go flying, that is amazing. Now, another new feature is actual animals in the game. You know, they didn't give us NPCs without mods, but we finally got animals. So, I found a chicken coop with quite a lot of zombies that I had to run over. Not too big deal. It was fun because they ragdoll. After clearing out all the zombies in this sort of area, I decided to butcher the chicken and check out what it gives you for, you know, harvesting a chicken. So basically like Minecraft, you get one chicken and a couple feathers. So with that, I went inside the house, and this is where I don't know if he was invisible. It looked like he was invisible, but I got, you know, lacerated, and I just got my way out of there and completely just went away from that area completely. And I eventually drove down the road, and I found a hostile assault. Now, what does this mean? Basically, this is part of the bandits mod, which is a mod that adds NPCs finally to the game, and you can just go around and kill them. So that is what I decided to do. I just ran around and killed these bandits who were supposedly supposed to be fighting me. To be honest, they weren't really much of a challenge because they just didn't have guns. And this is where the end happened. I went to a gas station, and basically there are runner zombies. In Build 42, the zombies are kind of randomized, and I just let it happen at this point. I got bitten, and everything was over for this, at least for Echo Creek. But that's not where the story ends. Welcome to West Point, a very, I guess, peaceful town. At least I thought it was. I ran around this area, for starters, just looking for what was in the area. I immediately found another bandit encampment, and this is where I tried out the gun. And I will admit, it does work very well. It also does ragdoll the zombies and the bandits, so kind of a weird weapon. And this is where I made a bad mistake. I tried to take all of the items when a runner zombie was coming up to me. So immediately, the West Point experience is over. On to the next. Rosewood, my tried and true spawn location. This is hands down the best spawn in the game. I did notice some additions were added to this area. Basically, some of these houses have basements now, so they're a lot more lively, and they also have some better loot. So I immediately was able to find a crowbar, some gloves, basically some starter gear for this area. I ran around the neighborhood and was fighting off most of the zombies pretty easily. There wasn't too many. Now, because this was already a couple days in, because I didn't reset the world, there wasn't too much to worry about, but I was worried that the power and water would shut off. But for the meantime, I just went around the area and looked for some things. I also found out that if you get a branch from a broom, you can turn it into a spear. So I don't know if that was in the game before, but I think that's a Build 42 edition. So pretty nice. I like the new crafting mechanics, and I think it really just does add to the game. So really, really great addition. Now, it was the end of the night for this day, so I decided to read in my house and gain some maintenance XP. I don't believe there was maintenance books before Build 42. If there was, please correct me. But great addition just for gaining XP and making the game a little bit less tedious in that regard. Now, on the way out, I was able to find a nice car and get my way to the police station. And this is where I got a little disappointed. This door, usually you just dismantle it. But in Build 42, apparently, they got rid of that option. So I was kind of stuck unless I got a key or a sledgehammer or some way to break the door down. So I went over to the local fire department to see if I can get some better weapons at least. So I slept for the meantime in the fire department because I did stay up all night earlier reading a book on maintenance. I wonder if that was fun for my character. So, after I slept, I went around and decided to loot the area and found a bunch of good weapons. Now, I always hear the debate about the crowbar versus the axe. So, I decided to grab both and see how they do. And I will say, the axe is really, really good. So, it might be better than the crowbar, but the crowbar is just more useful as a tool, I guess. I then took my car over to see if I could load up on some more weapons and see if I could get on the road, heading somewhere, maybe Louisville, see where the road would take me, basically. That's kind of what I was hoping for. So I loaded up my car, made my way back to the police station to clear out the area so I could check all these cars. And there was quite a lot of zombies, but nothing too bad to handle. Now, one thing I did notice about Build 42, I will say this, muscle strain is very annoying. Like, why is my character now just, if he swings an axe a few times, he's completely strained for like a couple hours or maybe the entire day. So after clearing out the parking lot, I made my way towards the exit of Rosewood. And along the way, there was a couple groups of zombies, but I just ran around for the rest of the night and decided to call it a night since it was basically pitch dark outside. So in the area, I just cleaned up and made my way on to the next day. So when the next day came, I decided to make my way towards the exit of Rosewood. Now, I knew I would definitely need fuel, but hitting this post did not do good for me. I tried starting my car, it would not start. So eventually I decided I gotta cut my losses and get out of the car. But I had a lot of good loot in it, so I'd have to come back later. Now, one thing I did notice also, you can untie your hair and like mess with your hair and do like different things with it. So, really cool. I don't know if that's a mod I had enabled or something, but really cool addition. We'll see. Now, for the rest of the day, I made sure to just clear out zombies. I was trying to stay as safe as possible since I was kind of afraid of, slipping up and a bunch of zombies attacking me out of nowhere, since the darker areas in Build 42 seem to be actually way darker than they used to be. Like, light bulbs and switches to turn lights on are going to be way more useful now, because before it felt like you could see everything, but now not so much. So I was on my way at the gas station where I decided to try and clear things out to get gas, maybe get a new car, and I got attacked by the biggest zombie horde I think I had seen so far. And I just went to the bathroom nearby and decided to rest up for a couple hours so I could recover from muscle strain. But just when I thought everything was good, a bunch of bandits decided to show up and start breaking down the door and try to kill me. Now, I don't know why, but I thought it was a good idea to sleep here. There's bandits trying to break into where I'm at, but, I'm just going to sleep for about 5 hours. And for some reason, they just didn't break in or anything. So I guess it all worked out in the end. I then had to make sure to kill the rest of the bandits and the zombies. Now, it does seem that the bandits do attack the zombies, so I guess they can be helpful sometimes, but they're also bandits at the same time trying to kill me, so, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But this bandit, luckily, had some pretty good stuff on him, so I was able to take his bag and kill the rest of the bandits, and everything seemed to work out pretty nicely. And everything was looking up. Now that I had a bag, I had some food, I had everything I needed. I felt like I could make my way over to the car, try to repair it, put some gas in it, see if I can fix it up. So I went over, took a nice gas can, and everything was going good. I felt like, you know, everything was going to be amazing. And this is where I made a fatal mistake. I ran over there while over encumbered. Now, it doesn't sound like a major mistake, because I did walk. I used time to speed it up, so I wouldn't, you know, become overly exerted. But, yeah, this is where you kind of need to run. These runners are very annoying in close vicinity, and this was the downfall of everything. Note to self, runners are very dangerous. So that's it! That's Build 42 of Project Zomboid. I hope you enjoyed. I plan on doing the Day 1 mod to basically check that out, see how that's going. But for now, I'm just kind of working on some other projects, maybe some more Fallout videos. But yeah, I mean, for the meantime, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and peace.